Alright, today is the day. We're going to put the rack in. So here we have the rack. Obviously fits in here. Now you got to be careful when you're getting this stuff in there. There's all kinds of coax things hanging out here that need to make sure that they find their right home. Get down in the holes there. You got stuff on top here that you need to be careful of that doesn't get damaged. I'm just going to put the zip ties there. I'm going to cut these off. Boom. Okay. So, but yeah, just go for it. I like to usually start by putting these out of the way. And just kind of carefully working it in there, little bit by little bit. Okay, so got these top ones through. Alright, so these coaxes at the bottom here, they are going to get fed down to the nav splitter, most of them. So just work those down in there. Okay, got the coax connectors attached. Alright, next what we're going to do is... Alright, so that one actually can go away. This is, again, flight director, not used anymore, that's just going to be bagged up. Alright, so this is 550. These guys made up here. Like this. And just make sure these connectors are actually really good and seated when you put them together. Then we have 521, which I believe is your audio connections.
Okay, bye-bye.
Sometimes the little the locking tabs get bent. You have to kind of straighten them out. Okay. Those two in there. Alright, good. There and there. Alright, now this is our disconnect, our homemade one. Boom. Alright, that's easy. I am going to put a back shell on here. This is just for testing purposes. For now, this will be good for testing, make sure that all works. Alright. So this is our MFD, the old MFD harness. This is going to connect up into our new Vantage display on the right hand side. Cool. I think the next step is going to be put the main panel in. So we'll put the main panel in, I'll put the instrument, this panel back in. Okay, so I got my radios here. Start with my IFD 540. Always check to make sure your connectors are going the right way. Definitely never done that before. Alright, so on this one, 3 dip switches on the side all need to be up because this is number 1. Alright. Okay, I always make sure I loosen up this, push it in so I know that it's engaged, and then I start to tighten this down. Once I start to feel a little bit of pressure, I go ahead and push it again because I want to make sure that it's engaging. I don't want to rely on that little locking tab to draw the unit in, because these units are pretty snug fit. So I do a combination of tighten, push, tighten, push. Last but not least, the 440. The 440, because it's the number 2, that first dip switch goes down. Tells it it's the number 2. So here we are, I got the display. So this is the PFD. I was just going to point out a couple things about it so that you don't make the same mistake I almost made. Well, first of all, in this one, it does tell you it's a PFD on top, and if you check the part number, that is correct. And if you look at the bezel here, there's no buttons along the bottom. There's just these ones on the side, and then there's a brightness dim button, 2 knobs, that's it. The MFD has got buttons down along here. Oh, I got some fingerprints on it already. It's not new. Oh no. Anyway, the MFD's got buttons down here. It says PFD, sys, and map. Those are the 3. And then on the back here, we've got our air data computer. Right here. There's the easy adapter with the plugs for the let's see, this is for the DAU, the power, your different I/O connectors. This is your fail-safe relay that you gotta have. We took the relay out from where it was, it plugs into here. All 4 dip switches are gonna be down on both of these guys because we've got dual mags, dual ADC on this one. So we're gonna go ahead and connect it all up. And yeah. Okay, we got our MFD here. You can see it's got these buttons on the bottom. Got an MFD, different part number, but it also has an air data computer on it. Take these off. Alright, this one's got less connectors that we have to deal with. Looks like we just have the P5 connector from before, from the new harness. This is the old MFD harness. This one, J8, that is going to be our new magnetometer that we just installed. Same thing, all 4 dip switches are down because we've got dual ADC, dual AHRs. Alright, so here we are with our main panel. It's pretty thin, but this is it. Alright, so I've already gone ahead and put my overlay on. And make sure all your connectors and stuff are out of the way. I also put the annunciator panel on here. So that's going to fit in there. There's these plastic pieces that go in there for the environmental controls. Make sure those are on before you try to put it all together. Alright. So there's that. Looks like that's going to fit in there nicely. Alright. So in the kit, Avidyne gives you new screws. Nice new screws and new washers, so I'm going to go ahead and use those. And also remember there's spacers that go underneath the bottom row of screws. So we're going to get those here. Alright, I gotta get my spacers. I'll go get those. I'll be right back. Alright, I'm back. Got my spacers. Alright, now there's two different sizes. There's a slightly smaller one and a slightly bigger one. The smaller ones go on these three lower, the bigger ones go on these three lower. So I like to start on this side, so I'm going to do the big ones first. So I'm going to take a screw, a washer, and the spacer goes behind the panel, in between the panel and the sub panel. Alright. Something that'll make your life a lot easier is a 1/8 inch Allen screwdriver, or a socket driver, or whatever this is. But 1/8 inch is what you're going to want. Okay, that's good. Alright, now we got to do these ones. These ones can be a little tougher, but bent nose needle nose pliers, they work pretty good. You might even be able to, yeah, it's gonna be hard. Sometimes you can sneak it in from behind, but you're gonna have a hard time with that on this one, so, or rather, I'm gonna have a hard time with that, so you can do whatever you want. Bent nose back here, get it through, and hit like that. Last two screws go up top, and I'm going to steal the washer and the nut that went on the old screws, because that's what you're going to need. Do is we can go ahead and throw our mag switch back up here. Couple things over here. We've got the annunciator panel connector, which is P662. That gets connected back up to the annunciator panel. And boy, is that. I'm going to have to cut some zip ties back there to give it a little more slack, because the annunciator panel actually shifted over slightly. And then this is a one wire, it's a 2-pin connector, but it's a one wire. This is for your air conditioner controller, if you have it. All it does is lights up a little light on this side that'll tell you that your AC is on, which we can go ahead and plug in now so that I don't forget about it. Tighten that down, but okay, so that's that stuff. Yeah, I gotta cut a zip tie there. I think there's enough slack here. Let's see. Oh yeah, there's a little loop of wire back there. That'll give me enough room now. I can reach this over here. Alright, Alright, so there's the main panel in. Next, we're gonna get the two displays. We're gonna plug them in, see how they look. Now this is all kind of temporary right now. I'm gonna go ahead and just plug everything in and see how it goes. And then once everything I know is for sure working, I'm gonna go back and make sure everything's tight. All the connectors that need to be bagged and capped are bagged and capped. All that stuff. So I'm gonna go get the displays now and we'll put those in. So let's get all that stuff out of here. Now it looks like there's a ground strap here. So right below the air data computer, I'm guessing that's where that needs to go. There's a ground screw labeled ground, believe it or not. So that's where we're going to put that guy. Alright, so all 4 of these big old connectors need to go there, as well as this one, I think. Let's see here. Well, the good news is they're all labeled, so we can go with that. Alright, so this is P5, which is the bottom one here. Okay. Got the power, that's good. Okay, so it looks like this one, 733, we don't need, because I don't see a spot for it. So that one's going to get capped. 732, however, we do need, so that's good. And then 559, or 599, there we go. Alright, so these 3 go in, and then this one goes in, and then this small one is your air data computer. So let's see how this goes. Alright, then I just got to connect up my pitot and my static. Looks like I got good length here. They just push on, click, click. Alright, cool. Alright, so there's that. So, not the easiest thing in the world to do, but it's not terrible. Now, this is a pretty tight fit here, so just be careful. Don't break anything. Yeah. There we go. Snug fit. And this looks like a 7/64. Is the right guy for that. That looks pretty good. Okay. So those are all in now. Yeah, that seems much stronger. Alright, next step, MFD. Alright, so for this one, I think I'm going to do the MFD, the old MFD harness first, since that's pretty long. Always start with your longest one. Save yourself a headache. All right, that looks pretty good. Okay, so now I'd like to show you the circuit breaker panel labels. So Avidyne gives you these nice placards that you can put on the circuit breaker panels. What we're going to be doing is the turn coordinator breaker, which is up here. There's two of them. Turn coordinator breaker number 1, turn coordinator breaker number 2. Those are going to become your air data 1 and 2 to feed the new air data computers, the ADC 900s. And then the Skywatch label here, we've removed the TAWS system from this airplane, which is Skywatch TAWS breakers over here. So this is just to reflect that it's simply just the Skywatch breaker now. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So it's just peel and stick. So air data 1 goes over turn coordinator 1. Try to get it lined up nice. One. And 2. And then the last one. And they give you some extras in case you mess up, but it's not too complicated. 3. And there you go. All nicely labeled.